Welcome to our channel.
Today we're going to break down something that society has labeled, or I can say traditional culture. Why do we prepare young girls or women or ladies for marriage and not do anything about our boys or the men or the guys? Why do you guys feel like, there is the girl child is so prepared for marriage and everything else, but not the guy? Why do you guys think is the case? And we have statements like you're not marriage material, for example, to a woman, but you never hear anyone say to a guy. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't. It's society. The emphasis. I don't know. The pressure is just so much on us. Honestly, too much pressure on us women. Hardly do these people consider the fact that a marriage is actually between two people, or relationships are between two people. And when we're talking about marriage, it's things both parties have to work in order for this whole thing to work.
Yes.
But the method that society just feels like women are the ones that are strong enough, I don't know, for this, or that they are the ones that should be prepared for this. Personally, I just feel it's really not fair. It's not fair at all, because they don't breed good guys. They don't even train them, or they don't, I don't know, do something to improve them. Men can literally just walk the way they want to. Like, they can go in that marriage and do whatever it is that they have always been doing.
That's why they do the things they do, because they are not prepared or anything. They don't have a sense of direction, because for them they are just placed there that they should just do whatever they wanna feel like doing. But for us, you should maybe handle the husband a certain way. If they go out, don't shout at your husband. Or when you give birth, then apparently the husband must sleep in a separate room so they can rest more. Like,
Who's resting?
What do you think?
This
So
pisses
are we then saying that, okay, move away from preparing a girl and then prepare guys, or should both be done so that we can have a successful?
Yeah, I think both should be prepared to handle these things. Yeah, but it's so weird for me that we don't prepare guys, because they say the guy is the head of the house.
Exactly.
It's weird how we don't prepare the head of the house, then we prepare somebody that's coming under the head of the house. How do we expect that house to be successful if the head is not trained or whatever? So back to what Esna said, I think that's why most of the time things don't work out. But us as females, I don't know, our mothers have always, from the word go, like as we're kids, we're always told at the tender age, like if you are with the kids, make sure the kids have eaten, make sure the kids have bathed. If you are the oldest now, the time,
Exactly.
and the guys, when we're growing up, what were the guys doing?
Taking care of the kids?
Just taking care of the kettles, but now, okay, fine, taking care of the kettles. Now we're inventing to all of us. Me, I've been taught how to cook, how to do everything, You were only taught on how to head the kettle.
Exactly.
So then what do you do?
I also feel like mothers have done their part. Men failed somewhere. Somewhere they must have failed.
to groom their sons.
Yes. Either if they were not present, the uncles, the male figure has failed, because even though they were busy training them how to herd cattle, they should have been training them how to handle women too.
Yes, because
mothers made sure. If you did not have a mother, your grandmother made sure. If you didn't have a grandmother, your aunties made sure that you knew how to do certain
Yeah, but
things.
you as a mother should also just teach your sons now how to handle.
Oh, this generation can.
I think our generation is like hopeless. Ours, but our kids or the generations to
I
come.
don't think we're hopeless.
You
We can
don't
still
think
do
so?
something.
I think we are the.
I feel like we can still do something that we want our kids to be, that we're not provided with. But let's get back to the point of the game. We are prepared. We say you are marriage material as a girl, and then a guy. No one says anything. What can then qualify a guy to become, let's say, now marriage material? Or I can also, but before we get there as well, it's that thing of man culture. when you're a girl, you are told you cannot fall pregnant before marriage,
Exactly.
but then when a guy brings a child home, it's like a celebration. If a girl brings a child home,
It's like,
what are you doing? And it's
Exactly.
all not justified, but we're just saying what is it that we can do now to prepare our boys to become great men, as well as now become marriage material.
Like
what is it
legal,
that you can do? What
legal.
should that father or uncle do to the boy? How to treat a woman?
No, Mary, it's so funny when you said when a guy brings a child home, it's celebrated. Mind you, this guy is not married. Ne? Now, where do you think the child came from? It's weird.
And I always tell people that everyone else expects you to be married. Society is like, oh, you're 30 and you're not married. But then I always ask people like, who will marry me? If my neighbor's kids that are boys or guys were not raised in a way that you are meant to marry someone, it will not happen. Or anyone else, every second guy or every third person you meet was not raised to really be a married, like get into a marriage type of thing. Who will marry who you are training? I think that's
true. And you know, when she was saying maybe the guys fail, somewhere the guys failed, and Esna, you said mothers also, maybe we should just raise our sons. Keep in mind, if you somehow raise your child to Pucha, open the door for a female, or when you do a female bed, apologize. Sometimes culturally they will say you are making the men too soft. You know, that's why they tend to tell the parents, no, don't tell the child to cry. A guy, don't tell a male child to cry. You become, I don't know, soft or whatever. But
That is actually what makes them strong.
okay, guys. So saying that females or girls have been brought up in some way to be good wives or so, I think there are also some other aspects. It doesn't necessarily just have to be the norms of cooking and pounding or whatever, or cleaning. I think there are also other things that needs to be instilled in females to make them better wives. Like maybe, attitude, very important. Like attitude, or maybe how to handle men. We all know females and male emotions are on different levels. So maybe if we are also taught on how to handle men emotions, you know, like maybe we all know sometimes, at most times, men get more angry faster. Can I say that? So when you realize maybe that the person is at a certain level, then maybe you can tone down a little bit just to avoid a lot of things. What other qualities do you guys think females or girls need to, besides the normal cultural ways now? What other qualities, besides the cooking and the cleaning and the feeding of the kids?
Yeah, I think we also just need to learn to build our men, because sometimes you get a woman that let's say people are, let's say this a relationship or it's a marriage thing, and for instance a man loses his job most of the time, or it's like torture, because women look down on the man, like, no, so they undermine him for one. They feel he's probably useless. The method that he's not bringing anything to the table. I'm just saying that we just need to learn to build our men, irrespective of whichever criteria they fall in, whether they work or they don't work. The point is, we need to learn to build our men.
But can they also learn to build us?
That is another thing now, on its own as well. Like it's what I feel like what we can do and what we also expect them to do. So at the moment, yes, we can learn to build our men, but they should also do the same, vice versa. Like you said, yeah.
Okay.
I think deep down as ladies, we know how we are brought up, we know how we should treat men, or it's a thing of you should always put your man first, or you should make him happy, you should always make sure he's happy. So irregardless of what we're told to do specifically, you know what you need to do for a guy. You just know that no, the guy needs to, like, I need my man to be happy, even if you're not told at home that the man needs to be happy. I think it's just something you brought up with already from the start.
Like,
but I don't think it's in guys. Like, I don't think like such things were put in guys. Like, you should. Well, are you guys getting what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I get.
So I think it's difficult for guys. For us, it's easier. Like you're saying, like you should build up your men. I think we can do that like automatically, because that's how we're brought up. But for a guy, like to treat your lady, to like I don't think these things were put in guys like from the beginning already.
But how can we then help? Like Agnes mentioned that, you know, sometimes if a mom teaches their son how to, let's say, open doors or apologize, and he comes off as weak, how can we then, I don't know, find a way to still train a guy, a boy child in a way, and society will not look at it in that way. But anyway, society will always have something they can label it.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking, fine, men are also required, like talk to your boys, talk about positive things when you're together as men. I think that would also contribute on you being a marriage material guy, if there's something like that. But just to be able to build men up to a certain standard, because that's why I believe that even with passion killing, those things are coming because men are not fed well, either maybe confidence wise, maybe they're insecure, and that's why they end up acting in a way that they are, or not treating a woman in the right way. But yeah, we can do something. Or something can be done.
Yeah, I think kids are usually taught like to deal with the outside things, the external things, but they are never taught to deal with their own emotions. That's why
Kids is in like
boys, they are not taught on how to deal with their emotions. That's why today we find a lot of men that can't deal with being rejected, they can't deal with losing jobs, they can't deal with, you know, all of these things. So I think maybe if we start there, letting the kids know that it's okay to, when something is wrong, to talk to the next person and express how you feel.
Do you think we are taught that as ladies?
But you say
But
it
it
comes
comes
naturally,
naturally,
like,
like,
because we know how to deal with emotions,
I
but
just
then
wanna
guys
make it
can't.
clear.
Yeah, like we know how to deal with emotions, but then guys can't deal, and that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
Or maybe, I don't know, we are Africans, most of the times we don't even see psychologists or a counselor or any, we don't talk to people much, you're not allowed to express yourself, and maybe it also contributes to the way we deal with things now. And we're also talking about, is there any culture in the world or any I don't know, any community in the world where you feel like they were raised to treat women better and they're doing it right? Can we maybe have a benchmark where we can fall from, or is it across? I don't know. Is it tradition, culture, society? What's affecting everything else? And if we're starting somewhere, can we learn from someone else that's doing it right, or none is doing it right at the moment in the world?
I think
I don't think it's a worldwide thing. I think it really has to do with culture. For us, people of color, we are raised culture, and men,
Should be prideful.
yes, you can't break.
Yeah.
You are not allowed to break down. You are just dead.
you don't sound
Yes, you don't.
anything.
It's like you can't even hurt. But the colored community, they are told that talk to somebody. I mean, people are sent to rehab. People are sent to go see psychologists. So maybe, I don't know if we can learn, but
Just to put it out there, we're not saying all black guys.
yes, we have
Yes.
good, well-raised, and we do have them, but
And also we're not saying all white people.
But
But
it's
majority-
really because of culture.
Yeah, it
it
is
just
culture.
boils down to culture. It's the way the things were done, the way we were raised. It really it's really just there. It's
Okay,
culture.
It's culture. How do we move away now from that cultural thing and be like, now if I have a son today, this is how I want him to grow up, and then I have hope that one day he's gonna be someone's husband, and they're gonna be proud of me as a mother because I've raised him in a way that he can be.
we should instill what the females are doing. The father should come forth and, you know, just also boy child, girl child. When the kids are attending these programs to females attending these programs to how you are, guys, you
But I
don't
also
talk when
feel
you're
like
about
it's
to
not just the father, man.
the
Yes,
mother also.
Remember, you are the way you are today because you're afraid of your dad. Like you're just
Yes.
like, I need to be extended
Yes.
because daddy. I just feel like we should
Yeah,
everyone
both
should also
should.
have a hand, but maybe the guys will relate more to it. Maybe the guys are the way they are also because they've seen their fathers growing
Being like that, yeah.
Yes.
It plays a big role, yes. But we can also
So
do
co-parenting is important at this stage. We should all get involved. This thing of whereby mother looks after the kids, father goes and heads the
I mean,
house.
we're all working as well.
I
think
that is long gone, guys.
Or should we have
First
a
times
subject
exchange.
in school
yeah,
to
maybe.
introduce a curriculum on how to?
No, but it really, I feel we both parents should really get involved in this. If we have to try and get away with what it is that we are currently, what we are experiencing at hand. It's important that we both get involved in the upbringing of kids, just to cut off these things, because these are the same reason. Now I even see churches, sometimes there are some churches that do marriage counseling. Honestly guys, I haven't experienced that because I haven't been at that
But I
stage
think
yet.
marriage counseling is for both,
Yeah.
both the male and female attend that counseling.
Exactly.
And I think and biblically, guys, like biblically it goes different, because these people are not in a relationship, they call it a courtship, and they go through all those procedures on how they can better themselves to become better partners in the end, like a Proverbs 31 woman or so. But they go through that channel. But when you bring in tradition, then it overrides then the biblical way of doing things, or the way, or it would also override your modern ways of wanting to do things. But okay, back to the topic. How would you raise that boy child to become that great person? What would you do different?
Oh well.
It's okay to cry.
Yeah, really guys. Oh my word. Okay, no. I think. Don't be shy to express your feelings. Put it out there. If you strongly feel good about something, say it. Bad about something, say it. Because it's bottled up emotions that leads to somebody being constipated with anger. Is that even the right
Can I
word?
say something quickly? Like you saying the guys should be involved, that's what you said before. But our guys don't know any better because they saw their father do exactly that.
No, but we also didn't know better. We were raised in that way, but we chose to go in a different way. Or we're saying, okay, let's not start by teaching the young ones. We can't, like somebody's, okay, fine, they're already confined in some sort of way, but they can still transform their mind and change to think in a different way, so that they can raise their child in a way that they were not raised.
Plus they have a better,
good and bad.
Plus they even have a better platform now compared to their, is it ancestors now? Or old people or something. Look, there's now internet, there are books that we can read. We can get better. Honestly, we are more privileged compared to the previous years. So that's why they must take advantage of everything.
Yeah, and also, and sometimes it's also just ignorance. By ignorance, I mean we grew up, we just taught certain things. But as we
Got exposed.
Yeah, as we got exposed to different worlds, we started the journey of self-growth. So you have to choose now what will.
The hunger to be a better you. Honestly, it's just about that. Imagine if you are on a journey of self-growth. Obviously, you want to better yourself. You want to be a better human being when you're encountering others. So it's all about that. Who goes around being all nasty, bad, mistreating others? So I personally just feel like if we can all just be on that journey, read books, surf the internet. Read for men, they still will have things. Read. As women, we also have books. It's just about you. If you are really hungry to be a better you, trust me, you put in the effort. So it's not about
what is
culture and all
better.
that.
It's just ignorance. I think everyone knows what's better.
Yeah,
You do know
Yeah.
that
Way, like,
You are
so it's
aware.
not an excuse to say because you were raised in a certain way.
Yes.
Unfortunately, you need to still continue
Yes.
mistreating a woman or treating women in a different way because that's what you were taught. You were taught that, but now you know better. Can you act better? People act better. So and when we start acting up to what we know, which is good, and we can now live up to, then it's easier to train our young kids to become better men, better women, and in the long run, it benefits both.
It's really sad when you see a person that you would see, you look at this guy, he's successful, he has a good family, he has it all, but then this person just fails to treat people right. How did you become so successful? How did you know that you need to do this in order for you to become successful? How did you know you need to do this in order to take care of your family, but you don't know what to do to be good to people? It all boils down to ignorance. Let's all just put effort in. You look, you just think, Puja, if somebody does something to you and it will hurt you, it will most probably also hurt the next person. So yeah.
So yes.
So okay guys, I have a question. So if you have to choose, say one thing that will make your present marriage material, what would it be? Just one.
Let's start with you.
That's the
Can I
question.
say, I feel like there's no marriage material. Okay, maybe I'm not the right person to answer now. No, I'll just say I'm probably not the right person to answer now. I'll just be like, to me, there's no marriage material. There's no one that will tell me that person is marriage material because that's based on your own judgment. Was
Yeah.
Someone will say because they can cook, they are.
Yeah.
Another person because they are kind. Another person, there's no that as long as you are, to me, be humble and be thoughtful, selfless in a way, and at the same time, selfless because in order for a relationship to work, I believe that you need to put your partner first as well. In most cases, you need to consider each other. So you meet as long as somebody's respectful, you're loving, and you're considerate, then we're good.
In other words, be human.
Yes, be a good human.
Be human, because that is the definition of a human.
Yeah.
Thoughtful,
Humanity.
kind, responsible, and all that.
Yeah.
Considerate, all that.
Caring.
Boils down to that.
Yep. Be human. Don't be robotic or an alien.
So we're saying if our men are taught and brought up in that way, then they will be.
They taught and brought up in that way, and also then themselves must take the
initiative.
initiative to make themselves better.
Exactly.
Not be ignorant.
Yeah,
not
just
be
ignoring.
Just ignore it and be like, no.
That's how I am.
Yeah.
My father is 17 kids, I
Oh
was
God.
29.
Yes.
Forbid.
God forbid indeed.
So be you. Be that. Be human.
Alright guys, that's it for today.
We'll catch you next time.
Ciao.
Cheers.